IoTCon 2014. I'm here with Tim Park from Microsoft. He's advocate for open platforms and the Internet of Things. For the Internet of Things?
Sure.
Or and the Internet of Things for Microsoft. You have quite an interesting career. You went from Microsoft to Nest Labs, back to Microsoft. Now, with that background and experience, why do you think open source technologies are so important for the IoT?
Well, I think the trend that we've been seeing over the last 10 to 15 years are that most of the major platforms that have kind of the broad platforms that have emerged have been open source. I think that everybody recognizes that. I think why that's happened is that allows you to, as somebody that uses one of these platforms, to contribute back, to add the things that are important for your enterprise or your business. And I think as we start looking towards a cloud model of computing, it's a good way to have both that and a way to monetize it, right? So people can contribute back, but then also vendors like Microsoft, like Amazon, can actually host these things and make money to operate them. So there's kind of this virtuous circle now where people are can see why investing in open source, Microsoft included, is a really good thing for the industry. So.
Now, in your session you're about to give, you're going to talk about Nitrogen.
That's right, yeah.
Which is your own open platform.
Yeah.
First of all, how did it originate?
Yeah, so I do a lot of work day to day in our Microsoft accelerators around the world. And so the Microsoft accelerators help small companies get started on Microsoft platforms, be it on the client or be it in the cloud. And one of the big areas, probably not a surprise, is a number of companies are starting kind of Internet of Things or Internet of Things companies. And when they do that, they face a number of big challenges. I'm going to talk about that in my talk today, but they essentially have to build all the authentication, all the authorization, the data management portion of that, and how all those devices communicate with each other and with applications before they can really even start getting to the point where they're solving the problem they wanted to solve. And so Nitrogen is something that's kind of organically kind of built out of helping those companies kind of with those types of problems. And,
okay.
And so it's an Apache 2 license project, so it's an open source project that we can hand over essentially through open source to these companies to help them get started. So,
nice.
So yeah, that's how it's gotten started. It's kind of an organic thing that's kind of grown and grown and grown. And so we have probably 15 to 20 of those companies using it, and then probably another 200 to 300 people in the larger community that are using it for various things.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
So how do I get started?
So there's the project home is at nitrogen.io. That gives you kind of a set of guides on there on how to get started. There's documentation. There's links to GitHub and where all the code is, where the project is hosted. And that's probably the best way. Start there, and feel free. There's a contact button. Feel free to contact me if you have any trouble or you want to learn more about the project or whatnot. So yeah.
Nice. There's been a lot of buzz lately around Microsoft and the IoT and open source.
Yep. Yeah.
And especially the Windows Developer Program for Galileo boards and so on. What's Microsoft's current position in the IoT space? So
our position is we're kind of approaching it from multiple levels. And so I think the Galileo is kind of a good example of how we're approaching it from a platform level. That's our client platform, or the work we're doing around the Galileo will expand to be a much bigger thing around enabling devices on Windows. We're doing a lot of work from an infrastructure level perspective in the cloud. So doing all the providing a what we call a modern data pipeline for managing these very large streams of data, both in terms of storage and in terms of processing. And then we recently about 2 months ago released our first preview of a thing we're calling the Intelligent Systems Service. What that's going to allow you to do is Intelligent Systems Service, ISS. Okay. And that's going to allow you to kind of hook all these kind of infrastructure pieces together into an easier to use data pipeline, essentially, for devices. And so we're tackling at all these different levels. And so Nitrogen is kind of the open source aspect of that for people that want to host it locally on-prem or use open platforms like Node.js to build out these things. I think anybody who says they understand exactly what the solution is in the Internet of Things is probably lying to themselves. And so a lot of these things are kind of experiments to see, to work with customers, understand what the right solution is in this space and kind of find it jointly with them. And so we have a number of customer projects that are ongoing as well around these things too. I can't share, unfortunately, but to kind of find out if we're headed in the right direction and work with them directly to make sure we are eventually.
So is Microsoft also collaborating with other big companies who are interested in open source technologies for the IoT?
We just announced we're a number of different things. The one that comes to mind is we just announced that we joined the AllJoin Alliance. So we're working with Qualcomm and the rest of the member companies of that to build essentially kind of the device ecosystem and communication between devices. And there's a lot of different other ways we're contributing back as well to the Internet of Things. On a protocol level, and then working in standards bodies in general.
So what's sort of the future vision of Microsoft for the IoT? Where does it want to be? We'd love to be everybody's solution for the Internet of Things. I think that's what everybody wants. I think we'd love to help customers in any way they'd like to be helped. So either taking a few pieces of our solution or taking the kind of end-to-end solution, which will be the thing, the kind of the Windows on the client all the way through ISS, Intelligent Systems Service in the cloud. That'll be a simple solution for folks that don't want to do a lot of development. And anywhere in between. And so that's our goal, is to build up a set of really good infrastructure level services that we kind of roll up into an end-to-end story for folks that want to use or want to have a more productive solution. Sounds great. Thank you. We're looking forward to your session.
All right,
which is about to start.
Thanks for inviting me.
Have a good day at IoTCon.
Thanks.
Bye.